the R&B songs, the love songs that we sing. But the Most High has to be first in our lives. And I don't think we can do certain things and keep him first. Not on a certain level. As we're finding out now, as we see the covers pulled off of Hollywood, covers pulled off of the church house, covers pulled off of the politics, government altogether. We're seeing nothing is as it says it is. It's all deceit, lies. And it's for a reason. As we see there in Hosea 4:6. We call it people pleasing and brown nosing, but a lot of it is us pleasing ourselves. We like the praise, the things we get for being someone we're not, the acting we put on. And we see that there in Hosea 4:6, as we said, because you have rejected knowledge, I will reject you as my priest. And since you have forsaken the law of the Most High, I will also reject your children. Oh boy. So there's some rejecting in the truth. Rejection of the Most High's plan, will, and desire for your life. Like, no, Pop, I don't want to do that. Just like the example Yahusha gave with the prodigal son. He was like, no, I don't want to be patient and wait for you to die. I want mine now. Give me my money now. Give me my inheritance now. So I can go have some fun. I want to have fun in my life. Just like I said, Pop, give me 5 more years. And I'll come to you wholehearted. And he knew back then I was lying. I was shucking and jiving. As my elder Isaiah would say, Most High bless him. He said, young blood, you shucking and jiving. I said, what is a shucking and jiving? I said, I'm country, but that's way country. I don't know what that means. He was from Mississippi. No, he was from Alabama, pardon me. And he was like, you playing the fool. I said, I know what playing the fool is. I ain't playing the fool, I'm for real. And what we was talking about at that time, I was being for real. But he was testing the water to see. But the text says, family, you reject knowledge. So what is the knowledge we're rejecting? And then it comes back and say you forsaken the law of the Most High. Knowledge and the law. We spoke on this yesterday. It says seek first his righteousness. And then we were speaking on the commandments. So we're speaking right back on it today because this is the way. We must inquire of him in order to find out what he will have us to do to build up his kingdom. And we're talking about the same thing basically. See, it's not about our way, about our will, about our knowledge. It's about his. And then we'll figure out we done went to school, to college for 8 years, 4 years, 2 years, spinning your wheels. So you end up getting out and can't find a job at what you went to school for. It's all a hustle. But if you had to listen to him, he might have had you go to school for some training for a couple of months, maybe even 2 to 4 years. But you would have been in the field that he's called you to, and he would open up the door for your employment, if that's what he wanted you to do. But it's all about lining up to his plan. And when we don't, the text says he's rejecting us and our children. So that rejection is has a finality to it. It's final. And an eternal rejection, to where there's hellfire involved and a total separation from the Most High and his love for you. He still loves you, but it's not in action anymore. It's in the action of a penalty. But the text says forever. Eternal fire. Man, that's terrible. That's terrible, family. But as the text says there in Zechariah 13:8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land said the Most High, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. So 2/3 of Yasharal is not going to make it. 2/3 of his people are not going to make it in these days we're in now. And mostly it's because of who they're listening to. Their teachers and preachers, none of them are speaking on the current events that we're facing these days. None of them are saying nothing about Russia being on America's doorstep. They're not saying nothing about the food shortages. And see, these are all the ways that it's going to happen. And it's all because of self-sabotage. You looking in the mirror and said, you got this. When in reality, you're really saying, you ain't got this. You can't do it without the Most High. But you figuring you can do it. But the text says there in 2 Timothy 4:3, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust, they shall heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. See, this is why most of us are not going to make it in these last and final days. Because we're listening to old pastor in them. Pacifying, pussyfooting pastor in them. And we're listening to these false teachers that we're heaping up to say what we want them to say. They're not ever going to say something that's going to challenge us, that's going to call us to maturity. That's not who they are. We see there in Matthew 7:15 who they really are. They're false. It says, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. They there to snatch your body apart. They there to tear you apart from limb. And you're letting them. You're having them preach to you what you want to hear. And really it says heaping them up, but what they're doing, they're a preacher put something out there and test the water and see who he can get, who's gonna back him. Just like one preacher said, he's gonna start growing weed on his church grounds. What a hot mess. And some people supported that. A lot didn't. A lot of mature, sensible thinking folks saying he's gonna draw the hood fellas. The people from the hood, the boys out the hood, the boys in the hood. He's gonna draw them to church. Corrupt them to get them in the church. How sickening is that? That's what I call a wolf. In sheep's clothing. Cause that fella do know how to dress. I ain't gonna lie, he be dressing dapper. But he's a liar. And the truth ain't in him. And he strayed away from preaching the truth. Like I say, he's testing the water to see who he can get. Who's going to support this venture. Who's going to continue to support trash. But that's all it is, straight trash. Because the time is coming, like we spoke about just now, 2/3 aren't going to make it. And we see there in Revelation 6 and 8, the fourth rider of the apocalypse causes damage that results in one fourth of the world's population dying from the sword. Likely in civil war, infighting, starvation, pestilence, and savage animals. But that's more than just civil war. That's a world war. And also, it's going to be famine, sword, and pestilence. See, when the war breaks out, we already had a taste of the pestilence. They manufactured that pestilence, but this one is going to be from the war. You have war, then you have famine and the pestilence, which soon follow because of the war. But the text says that those that will be saved will endure until the end. So we pray to the Most High that we